Hello, this is Wes Harrison with Above and Beyond Auto Repair, and I'm on my way back from Colorado. I've got a 9-hour drive ahead of me, so I thought I'd make a few videos about some of the most commonly asked questions that I get. And this one is, how do I check my brake pads? How do I change my brake pads? When do I know if my brake pads need to be changed? And the answer to that is unless you have a wheel that you can see through that has like spokes on it, you need to remove the wheel to be able to check your brake pads. Now, even if you have a wheel that you can see through, you can only see the outside pad. You can't see what's going on with the inside pad. So the best way to check your brake pads is to actually have the wheel removed. Brake pads themselves are pretty thick. Now, in the state of Missouri, we have what's called a Missouri Vehicle Inspection. Missouri Vehicle Inspection says that if the brake pads are actually riveted to the backing plate, the brake pads must be at least 3/32 of an inch thick. If the brake pads are bonded, in other words glued, they must be at least 1/32 of an inch thick. Now, let me give you an insight on this one. 3/32 of an inch is about 3 paper plates. Paper, not foam, paper plates. And 1/32 of an inch is roughly a piece of paper folded twice. So we're talking ultra thin here. I personally, I wouldn't have my daughter or my mom or any of my family members or anybody that I like in a car that has brake pads that are that thin. Will they work? Yeah, they'll work, but there's just nothing there to absorb the heat. The biggest thing about brakes is there's a lot of heat going on because you've got to stop that whole moving car, and the friction it's just a heat generating source, and so you want as much material to dissipate as much heat as possible. On your brake pads themselves, some brake pads have a little metallic tab stuck off to the side of them that'll start to squeak. Now you'll notice if the tab is rubbing, usually you'll hear a squeak until you put your foot on the brake, and then the squeak will go away. That's an indicator that the brake pads are down, the little metallic indicator. If it squeaks while you're just rolling along and then you barely put your foot on the pedal and the squeak goes away, that's telling you your brake pads are down to the metal indicators. It's not hurting the rotors at all, it's just squeaking to let you know that there's a problem. If you don't pull the wheels off, you can't really check your brake pads all that efficiently. You won't know what the inside pad looks like, and sometimes the inside pads wear out a lot faster than the outside pads because the sliders get stuck. The sliders are what allow the caliper to move back and forth. It needs to be free so that it applies even pressure on the inside and the outside of the pad. Well, with road sand, salt, and all the grime and everything, it gets into the little rubber boots of the sliders, and it can make the caliper bind up a little bit and therefore cause one pad to wear out before the other. In the event you hear any grinding noise when you put your foot on the brake, you've waited too long. You actually are stopping on metal to metal, which is not good. And you need to have those checked ASAP, because not only is it going to cost you a rotor, but you actually don't have brakes, and it's only a matter of time before the piston will pop out of the caliper. And if the piston comes out of the caliper, it will lose all its brake fluid and you won't have any brakes. So if you hear any grinding noise whatsoever, get it somewhere fast. Of course, you can bring it to us, but get it checked, get it somewhere fast. In a pinch situation, you don't necessarily have to replace the rotors. Just get some pads in there until you can afford to get everything fixed the right way before that caliper piston pops out. Otherwise, it starts to get really expensive real fast. I hope this gives you some insight as to how to check your own brake pads, or at least what's going on with the brake pads. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at 816-453-8282. And you can find us online at aboveandbeyondautorepair.com. Again, this is Wes Harrison, and I thank you, and have a good day. Bye-bye.